Welcome to the Florida Tech Coaches Show. My name is Daniel Supraner. Joining me today is Florida Tech head football coach Steve Engleheart. Coach, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, you guys just wrapped up your regular season with an 8-3 record. A great year. It's your fourth winning record in 6 years. Talk about what was successful about this team this year and what brought you to this point.
Well, I think that, last year's, we had a lot of success after starting our first season. And then, every year we'd gotten a little better, and then we graduated a big group of guys. And then last year was a little bit of a down year for us. We lost several close games. So I just think that the way the guys worked in the offseason, and then more importantly, the team chemistry of this year's team, I thought was just outstanding. They were just a fun group to be around. That they really worked hard. They worked. I thought we had very good leadership. Our captains did a great job. JT Hassel, Trent Schmelik, and Jimmy Heinel. I thought that those guys were great leaders. And, I think that overall a team can do great things when they really care about one another and have that type of chemistry. And to have 8 wins this year, and obviously another successful year. You look back at the 3 losses and think about how we could have done better and would have had a chance to win those games. We lost at West Georgia by 9 and we're really close into that game and gave up a punt return that got down to the 10-yard line, and then we gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown. And and that team went undefeated until they played Valdosta State the last game of the year, and then at West Alabama lose by 7 to them at their place. So some really good teams that we lost to on the road, but an 8-3 season, and I think that our guys are ready to go into the next step of this thing, which is the playoffs.
Absolutely, and you talked about some of the senior leadership. Building off of what happened last year, their hard work in the offseason. Talk about some of those leaders. A lot of them this year were seniors who broke some records. Talk about Adonis, Antoine, JT Hassel. Not only the great play of them, but how have their teammates responded to their success this year?
Well, the greatest thing about those guys is they all lead by example.
Right.
When you talk about JT Hassel gives great energy at practice. He's the one that's continually given that type of effort at practice where it just picks everybody's energy up. Right. We call him like an Energizer Bunny. He has a couple of nicknames, but that's one of them. The other one is half man, half amazing. JT's a great player, and people respect him because he's a great player, but they also respect him because he's a good teammate, and they see him give an effort. Right. And Adonis is very similar. Adonis is a lead by example guy, not a huge rah-rah guy, but holds his teammates accountable and pushes guys, in practice when need be. But he works really hard, and once again, a really good football player. Antoine Haynes has been here for 4 years. Right. His production over 4 years has been remarkable. And then you have Trent Schmelik, our quarterback, who's just a great team guy. Only cares about the team, and I thought did a great job of bringing the offense and defense together. But Ramel Guerriere, once again, leads by example. When you just talk about the seniors of this class, Adonis Davis, how many records does he have? He has the season and career records for tackles for loss and sacks. You have JT Hassel, who has the season and single game records for tackles, and you have Antoine Haynes, who has the all-purpose records, touchdowns and yards, and the rushing yards. Right. And rushing touchdowns. So you have a lot of records being set. Guys like Richard Lavelle scored 3 touchdowns this year on defense, set that record. So it was just a lot of fun this year. Right. Because it was with great kids that really worked hard and they were fun to be around.
You always talk about some players, they're watching the numbers, they're keeping an eye on the records. Some of these guys, I know Adonis, know Antoine, they know about it, but they probably don't let it affect them. How was the rest of the team dealing with it when they saw these guys getting close?
Well, it's funny because if you wouldn't have told me about the records, the team really didn't even know about them. I think that there were times where there were records being set and we didn't really address them that much as a team. Now, obviously, the career records Right. for Antoine, career records for Adonis, I think that those were big. When Antoine got the touchdown record in the last game against Shorter, the career touchdown record for rushing touchdowns, obviously everybody was really excited. The offensive line especially was really Right. excited for him, but the whole team was hugging him on the sideline. So it's just great to see. I don't think our team cares about records and who gets the credit. They care about winning, and that's an example of guys like Adonis and JT and Antoine who never pound themselves on their chest and think that they're bigger than the team. It's all about the team with them.
And you see that hard work actually paying off, because just today when the GSC releases all-conference teams, we had 4 all-conference members. Antoine Haynes was the second team running back, but then you had Ramel, you had JT and Adonis all on the first team of their positions, and then JT being named the Defensive Player of the Year for the GSC.
Yeah, and I think that because of the way JT plays, he really, when you're watching him on film or watching him live, he really pops off as an outstanding player. And I think that every coach in the league notice a guy like him and notice a guy like Adonis Davis as being, potential Defensive Player of the Year type of guys.
Exactly.
And obviously JT got that Defensive Player of the Year for the conference, and that's voted on by the coaches, So, and my vote doesn't count. So all those coaches really look at, what he did this year, and they obviously respected that. And then, Ramel Guerriere getting first team. He was our explosion guy on offense this year and really had a lot of big plays. And once again, he pops off on film. You see those big plays being made.
Exactly. Well, now let's move to this week. You guys on Sunday heard your name called. You're the number 6 seed in Super Region 2 playoffs. You're going up against the number 3, Lenore Ryan. Talk about getting that seed, what that meant for the team, and did you guys really get much of a chance to enjoy it, or did you get right to work?
Well, a couple things. I think that for the most part, we knew kind of what our seed was going to be. 2 weeks prior to that, we were a 5 seed. We lost to West Al, and then we beat North Greenville and kept us at the 6 seed. And then we figured if we beat Shorter, we would probably stay at a 6 if everybody else won as well, that were in the top, and everybody did. So coming into that Sunday, you had a good feeling that we were going to be playing Lenore Ryan as a 6 seed going to the 3 seed and going to their place. But obviously we had a nice little team banquet, had the parents there, had the players there, so they were all able to share in that joy together a little bit. And then the coaches went right back to the office and obviously got to work, and we were there late. And then because of Veterans Day on Monday, they didn't have school, and we normally have our team in the building around 6:30 a.m. on Mondays for a team meeting, but we let them sleep in because of Veterans Day, and they came in for a 3 p.m. meeting, and we had a quick meeting just to put the Shorter game to bed, and then started working on Lenore Ryan, and they're a really good football team, and we have a huge challenge ahead of us.
Absolutely. The Bears, they're 10-1. They're the South Atlantic Conference champions. Their only loss, though, is to a team we're very familiar with in West Alabama. That was there in the first game of the season. What do you know about this team? I know you only had a couple of days to look at, but what can you say about them?
Well, first off, Coach Cronick, their head coach, this is his first year, and has done a really nice job of building a culture of winning there. You could tell that they're a really well-coached, hard-nosed, tough football team. Their offense is very dynamic, very explosive. They've done a great job of building an offense that is somewhat wing T, somewhat spread, somewhat spread bone triple option type of stuff. So it's very explosive, and they do a lot of different things. So that's going to be really tough to defend. They're scoring about 45 points a game. Defensively, they're very sound. They play hard. They rush the passer well. They have 38 sacks on the year. That first game of the year that they lost to West Al, they played at West Al. They were down, took the lead, and then with about 1:20 to go, West Al drove down and scored to win the game. So it was a very close fight that they had, and then Lenore Ryan went on after that and won 10 in a row. And so they're playing with great confidence. They have a lot of really good players that play hard, and they're well coached. So for us to go there and beat them at their place is going to be a heck of a challenge. They have a great fan base. It seems like they're one of the higher in the SAC conference as far as attendance at their games. It looks like they're averaging about 5,000 or 6,000 at their games, so they get great fan support as well. So we have once again, it'll be tough.
Absolutely. And then one thing I noticed about their stadium, on the field, you're going to be looking up to their fans. You're going to be about a lower level.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lower level. It kind of seems like it's kind of built in the bowl. I've never been there. I've never seen it, but just from some of the pictures, and they have end zone seating as well.
Right.
So it's kind of like a kind of a half bowl shaped, and a turf field. You know, looks like it has great facilities.
Great. Well, good luck this Saturday, Coach, and thank you for joining us on the Coaches Show. You guys can watch the coverage for the football game. The game is on Saturday at 2 p.m. It's in Hickory, North Carolina, and you can access all of those links on FloridaTechSports.com. Again, thank you, Coach, and good luck this weekend.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Florida Tech Coaches Show. I'd like to send a special thank you to head coach Steve Engleheart of the football team for joining me today. You can stay up to date with the football team and all of our athletic programs here at Florida Tech on the official home of Panther Athletics, FloridaTechSports.com, as well as follow the teams on their Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. My name is Daniel Supraner, and thank you again for joining us today. Go Panthers!